are going on a road trip. Don't lose this paper. It's the only one you're going to get, and it's worth 100 points in the grade book. So we read, LynxTV. If you receive this application, it means you may be selected to appear on the drippiest road trip of all time. DRT is a new experience where groups of people get $10,000 for a road trip that will be a unique and life-changing experience. The money you spend will mainly go towards two things: your vehicle that you have to rent and the gas, and your daily expense of a hotel and food. Plan carefully. Groups who do not plan to spend at least $9,000 of the money will not even be considered. The possibilities for your trip are limited only by your ability to budget the money. LynxTV can drive their production vans anywhere in North America and has relationships with gas stations, hotels, and restaurants to provide you with what you will need to finish your journey. You can take as many stops as you wish, as long as you start and finish at Brandon Valley Middle School. You can take a trip as short as 1 week or as long as 31 days. You can use the money on a solo drive from the beaches of Cancun to the mountains of Alaska and stop by California on your way back. The trip cannot go across the Atlantic Ocean to Europe or across any other body of water because it's a road trip. You actually have to drive on a road, not a boat. You can use your money to take even 7 of your friends on a lavish trip up and down the Jersey Shore. LynxTV wants to support an impressive and detailed trip, and one of the most important things to show is that you can manage the money well. This means your trip needs to fall between $9,000 and $10,000. As long as the ideas are well thought out, LynxTV will consider any proposal. Application abstract. Who's attending the trip? You can bring up to 7 other people. On the lines below, write the names of your friends, family, and even famous celebrities because LynxTV can pull strings. Whose name should be on line 1? Yours. Your name. You are going on this trip. Okay? You can add whoever else you want to take in a minute. But right now, for sure, you have to go. If you want to go by yourself, that's fine. Okay? Before we go into the rest of this, this is my lesson plans for the week. The whole point of this is to be able to find rates of change and initial values in a real-world project. We've talked about rates of change and initial value for 2 weeks. So show me that you understand what it means in the real world. So there's actually 6 parts to this project. Part 1, and I'll go through each one of them in a minute, needs to be corrected at the start of class on Tuesday. Part 2 needs to be done by the start of class on Wednesday. Part 3 needs to be done by the start of class on Thursday. And Part 4, your trip must fall between $9,000 and $10,000 and turn in by 3:10 on Friday. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's due at 3:10. If you don't turn it in, it's a 0. Then on Monday, we'll finish Part 5 and 6. Okay, on Monday, we'll finish Part 5 and 6. In a minute, I'm going to explain to you Part 1. Once you bring me Part 1 and I sign off on it, you're going to get your laptop out. You'll click on this link right here, and it will take you to a Part 2 video. They're like 7 minutes or so. It'll show you how to do Part 2. So this is kind of on your own. Does that make sense? Like the pacing of it, you might be at a different spot than somebody else. Everybody's has to be done at 3:10 on Friday. Now, this is 100 points in the grade book. 100 points. It's taking the place of your chapter test. So if we look at this, and I just put this on my website, or on my lesson plans, every single part is worth 10 points. Did you use complete sentences? Did you answer all the questions? Was the correct equation written? Here's the deal. You're going to bring it to me, and I'm going to check it. So should you ever have an incorrect equation? No. In theory, you should get 100% on this because I'm checking it as you go. Does that make sense? So every part is worth 10 points. The one I want to focus on is presentation of project. It doesn't mean you're getting up here and presenting it. It means, does your project contain work and explanations that are legible and easy to understand? Did you turn in a packet that was trashed with drawings all over it and crinkled and crumbled and I can't read half of it and you scribbled it out? You're going to lose points. Okay? But the big piece right here, participation is worth 40 points. If you're just using your class time appropriately, you're on task, I don't have to say sit down and stop talking, you're going to get 40 points. That's a lot. Okay, just for doing what you're supposed to. This whole thing has to be done by 3:10 on Friday. If you use your class time, you may still need to work on it a little bit outside of class. And I know that some of my students in enrichment are like, I don't really have a lot to do. This is a perfect thing to do during enrichment. You're going to be better off working ahead than be scrambling on Friday trying to get it turned in by the end of the day. Okay? All right. Let's go to part 1. Part 1 is your expenses. This is what you're taking care of today. Expenses. Your main expenses for this trip outside of the car is food and lodging, which are calculated separately. LynxTV will provide you with 3 different types of food and lodging. You can pick 5-star, 3-star, 1-star of food. You can pick a suite, a hotel room, or a campground. And then you have to buy everybody luggage. Designer brand, a duffel bag, or no luggage. Please choose luggage, because otherwise you're wearing the same clothes the whole trip, and that's weird. You're going to stink. You're going to use this space to tell me what you chose and why, hence the complete sentences. And then you're going to walk through this worksheet, or this paper walks you through how to come up with this. Given the number of people that are going on the trip, what's the total amount you will spend on food each day? Given the number of people that are going on the trip, what is the total amount you will spend on lodging each day? Hint, make sure you don't overload the rooms, but you can always split up if you want to. Hotel rooms can have up to 4 people. If you have 4 people going on your trip, technically you only have to have 1 hotel room. If you want to have more than 1, you can choose that. But you can have 1. Now, if you have 6 people going, you'd have to have 2, right? You could choose to have 6 if everybody wanted their own room. Given the number of people that are going on the trip, what's the total amount you'll spend on luggage for everyone for the entire trip? Remember, everyone needs luggage, but you only have to purchase luggage 1 time, right? Versus your hotel room is a daily thing and your food is a daily thing. Now, use the amount you spend on daily expenses to write an equation in y equals mx plus b form that will give you the expenses for any given amount of days. At this point, you don't know how long your trip is. People are like, well, I'm going to be gone 7 days. You don't know that. You don't know that. That's part of your day 2. What I'm saying is we're going to write an equation that once we figure out the number of days, we can plug it in and say, okay, this is how much they're spending. Your daily expenses, or in other words, cost per day, include food and lodging, while your luggage is a one-time fee. So whatever you write on here is going to be a y equals mx plus b equation. Now think about this. You've been writing y equals mx plus b equations for a long time, right? Y equals 150x plus 5. Y equals 2x plus 4. Y equals 60x plus 0. Y equals 45x plus 100. Notice there's a y and an x in it, yes? You're replacing the slope and the y-intercept. Now, so many people wanted to walk up to me already today and say, I don't know how to do this. This is in place of your test. I'm not going to tell you how to do it. There's enough to walk you through this and what you've done in the last 2 weeks to be able to complete this. When you think you have this equation written, you need to bring it to me. I have a fancy dancy sheet on my computer that I type in your information and it tells me what equation you should have. If you have that equation, I will star it. I will check your name off. You'll get your laptop out and you'll start on part 2 because you're going to watch that video. Once you get part 2 done, you'll bring it to me. I'll check you off. Then you'll go to part 3. Does that make sense? Questions you can think of right now? Gatlin.
Can you work on this alone?
Yes, you are on your own on this. Gavin.
Say like for the days, like maybe like the next you decide like maybe that because of the days you want to choose something else.
So when you have to calculate this out, if it doesn't fall between $9,000 and $10,000, you absolutely can go back and change it. 100%. You kind of keep that amount of money in order, right? Once you have your equation, like, okay, I'm spending this every single day. Now, right now, you don't know how many days you're going to be gone, but once you do figure that out, you may have to make adjustments to your choices, 100%. Okay? I will play a little background music so it's not awkwardly quiet in here. Go ahead and start picking who's going to be on your trip, your lodging, your food, and your luggage. When you get that equation written, bring it up to me.